From Australia, this is the Wireless Institute of Australia with the weekly news service. This broadcast is in text, audio and video and is accessed on wia.org.au.
I'm Graham, VK1WIA, and it is the national news for week commencing January 10, 2021, in our 26th year of non-stop news. WIA at work. Lee Moyle, VK3GK, Vice President of the WIA, has been helping secure two special amateur radio call signs from the ACMA, VI100AF and VK100AF. Now, many would be aware that this year, 2021, is the 100th anniversary of the Royal Australian Air Force, hence these two call signs to be used for the celebrations, VI100AF and VK100AF. VI100AF will be on the air March 1 to May 29. It's actually 100 days, being the Air Force's actual birthday, March 31. VK100AF will be on the air March 1 through to August 31. The special event call signs will be issued to amateurs from around Australia on a roster, and the WIA have authorised Stewart, VK8NSB, to manage both calls. VK8NSB is interested to hear from any amateurs, particularly those who have an association with the ADF, who would be interested in using the event call signs at your home, club or even portable locations. Maybe a SOTA or park activity, all help to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Royal Australian Air Force. World Amateur Radio Day theme announced for 2021. The IARU Admin Council has chosen Amateur Radio, Home but Never Alone as the theme for World Amateur Radio Day, Sunday, April 18, 2021. Faced with a pandemic that forced the adoption of extreme physical isolation to reduce the spread of the virus, the worldwide amateur radio community responded positively to overcome the resulting social isolation. In the days and weeks following the onset of the pandemic, radio amateurs reached out spontaneously to one another via the airwaves at local, national and global levels. Local wellness nets provided friendly voices and regular status checks for those, especially the elderly, who are confined to their homes. Stay Safe special event stations in dozens of countries reminded us all of the importance of limiting the spread of this nasty virus. The on-air activity was at an unprecedented level throughout the rest of 2020, with record-breaking numbers of entries in the major contests. While the development of effective vaccines offers hope for some semblance of normality later in 2021, the pandemic will still be with us when we mark World Amateur Radio Day 2021, hence the theme, Amateur Radio, Home but Never Alone. Still to come in this edition of WIA National News, discussion point with our resident thinker Jeff Emery, VK4ZPP, and WIA Secretary Peter, VK8ZZ.
The current Amateur Radio Club Public Liability Insurance Program is subscribed by well over 100 of our affiliated clubs throughout Australia. The policy is sold by our WIA insurance brokers and is significantly discounted to membership clubs because of the WIA group buying power. The current policy is due for renewal at the end of the first quarter in 2021. The WIA are investigating alternatives and options for the 2021 offering, and information will be available shortly. This has been WIA Secretary Peter, VK8ZZ.
Now, international news with Jason, Victor Kilo 2, Lima Alpha Whiskey.
Thanks, Trev, VK4BAT, and of course, as is always the case, our international news is with thanks to IARU, RSGB, SARL, Southgate Amateur Radio Club, ARRL, RAC, NZART, Amateur Radio Newsline, and the worldwide sources of the WIA. In New Zealand, power to the people. New Zealand is putting wireless power transfer systems using 148.5 kHz to 30 MHz into the General User Radio Licence for Short-Range Devices category. The notice has been updated to include several amendments. These include new provisions to permit the use of frequency range 0.1485 to 30 MHz for WPT and induction loop systems used to detect foreign objects. To permit the use of the frequency range 1785 to 1805 MHz for wireless microphone, in-ear monitors or wireless audio transmitters, to implement WRC 19 Resolution 229 regarding the 5150 to 5350 MHz band, to permit wireless local area network outdoor use and a power level up to 0 dB watts, and to permit the use of the frequency range 13.553 to 13.567 MHz for radio frequency identification transmitters. A general user radio licence permits transmitting without the need to get a licence or paying licensing fees. News from Lapland. Oscar Hotel 8 X-ray node active. As part of the Yasmi Foundation project to provide additional reverse beacon network nodes in underserved areas, equipment has been provided to a team in northern Finland. The latest node to become active is currently hosted by Radio Arkela, Oscar Hotel 8 X-ray, very close to the Lapland Oscar Hotel 9 region. The Oscar Hotel 8 X-ray reverse beacon node will further help the study of the polar path in which Radio Arkela will be cooperating with the northern scientific community. Polar path is the name given to a mysterious propagation mode existing in northern Europe during the winter season. At and above the Arctic Circle in the middle of the night, this propagation offers a footprint covering the entire North American continent for many hours. To the USA, you win some, you lose some. The FCC has agreed that its proposed $50 fee for certain amateur radio applications was too high to account for the minimal staff involvement in these applications. Now the FCC is to scale back to $35 the fee for a new licence application, a special temporary authority request, a rule waiver request, a licence renewal application, and a vanity call sign application. All fees are per application. Jason, VK2WIA here, and I'll sign off, but for now with breaking news, here is Editor Graham, VK4BB.
Thanks, Jason. Croatia. After their devastating earthquake, and Cole VK3GTV will have more on that event during special interest group news, Croatia has joined the small number of countries to allow operation on the 40 MHz or the 8 metre band. Dragon 986W reports that national telecom authorities there have granted him a 1-year experimental licence to operate from 40.66 to 40.7 MHz. Croatia now becomes the 5th country to offer at least some operating authority in the band. Ireland, Slovenia and South Africa already have 40 meg allocations, while Lithuania has allocated spot frequencies for experimental purposes. Japan. The Japan International DX Meeting, the JIDXM Committee, in cooperation with CQ Magazine, has announced awards to DXpedition teams and individuals who made outstanding contributions to the world's DX community. The 2020 JIDXM Award Program will recognise the VP8PJ South Orkney DXpedition team, February 2020, the VP2VB Yasmi Memorial Expedition Team, March 2020, and the TO0Z St Bartholomew Expedition Team, September last year. These as DXpeditions of the year. Despite the situation caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, these teams overcame all the difficulties and organised DXpeditions successfully with extra fine teamwork. Now, worldwide, the 2021 running of the AM Rally will take place from 0000 UTC Saturday, Feb 6 to 0700 UTC Monday, February 8. This annual AM Rally operating event encourages all amateurs around the world to explore amateur radio's original voice mode by showcasing the various types of amplitude modulation equipment in use today, ranging from early vacuum tube radios to the latest SDR-based transceivers. And as the Catman Felix in his operational news segment says, it's a great way to dust off the tubes, beat the COVID blues, and to prepare for our very own AM on Anzac Day event. Participation in the AM Rally has continued to grow over the past 5 years and is, of course, open to all radio amateurs capable of operating on AM using any type of radio equipment on our standard HF bands. Now, as I mentioned, Felix, well, he's next, right here on Australia's news leader, VK1WIA.
This is the home service of the Wireless Institute of Australia through VK1WIA. Now operational news with Felix, VK4FUQ.
Thanks, hi and hello. Almost every weekend the bands burst into life as thousands of fellow radio amateurs try talking to as many people as possible while saying as little as possible. This is the sport of radio contesting, and whilst many are baffled by all the noise, and many others are annoyed by the spectrum it takes, to the participants it is as exciting as any Olympic event, with the added bonus that norms or couch potatoes can come first. Whether you spend a lot or little money in your hobby, whether you devote the whole weekend or just a couple of hours, contesting welcomes you to its ranks, and hopes you take part, have a lot of fun, learn a little more about yourself and your station, and above all hopes you send in your log. As you are aware, we only publicise the main contests in our area, those deemed WIA official tests, and Tier 1 contests worldwide. New Zealand's Amateur Radio Society, the NZAT, has released its new Foot 21 contest calendar, the link naturally on the WIA news page. Ross Hull Memorial VHF UHF contest is taking place all of January. VHF UHF Summer Field Days Saturday 16 and Sunday 17 January. CQ Worldwide 160 metre CW contest January 29 to 31. CQ Worldwide 160 metres SSB contest February 26-28. CQ Worldwide RIDI WBX contest February 13-14. International DX CW contest February 2021. International DX phone contest March 6 and 7. WIA John Moyle Field Day 2021. March from UTC 0100 hours on Saturday 20 to 0059 hours Sunday 21. The CQ Worldwide SSB WPX contest March 27-28. The CQ Worldwide CW WPX contest May 29-30. April 25 AM CW Anzac Day, Monday 25th from 9 AM on 7125 kHz AM. Harrow Angel Sprint will be May the 1st, 2021, 10 hours to 11:46 UTC. The BK assures that June long weekend, which is the weekend prior to the second Monday of June each year, making it June 12 and 13 in 2021. Winter VHF UHF Field Days June 26-27. DX Window. To celebrate the 40th anniversary of the International Police Association Radio Club Switzerland, look for HB40 Police to be active all year till December 31st. A QSO with HB40 Police counts as a club call sign for the IPARC Switzerland and is valid for the Matterhorn Award. QSL via the Bureau or EQSL. Poland. Members of the Sedina Contest Club are QRV with SQ0 Morse until the end of April, commemorating the 230th birthday of Samuel F.B. Morse. QSL via SP1EG. Kenya. 5Z. Kato. LA9PF will be QRV as 5Z4/LA9PF from Malindi, now until May on 80 to 10 metres using SSB in various digital modes. Finland. OH. Special Event Station OH100 SRAL is QRV during all of 2021 to celebrate the centennial of the Finnish Amateur Radio League, QSL via the Bureau. Special Event Station HF 2021 HNY, Poland, goes QRT today, January 10. It has been celebrating the new year, hence the suffix HNY. Members of the Enigma Club SP2 PBM are operating the station HF 2021 HNY. Rotuma 3D2. Tony, QRV as 3D2AG/P until mid-January on 160-6 metres including 60 metres, using CWSSB RTTY and FT8. Belgium. Special call signs in Belgium during the second lockdown period, that is until January 31, 2021. BIPT has decided once again to grant permission to apply for customised special call signs. The exceptional conditions only apply to special call signs with an encouraging meaning. Listen and work these. OS to Hope, OT5 Alive, OQ5 Be Clever, and OT2 Care. Slovenia, S5. Members of the Radio Club Electron Brezice are QRV with Special Event Station S520 Safe until January 31, 2021. Supports the Stay Safe campaign and expresses their gratitude to medical staff and care workers. For VK1WIA National News, I'm Felix, VK4FUQ Inningham.
Now, special interest group news with Cole, VK3GTV.
Hello and welcome to my first report for 2021. Looking forward to a much better year for sure. I'll always remember 2020 as the year our bins went out more than we did. One of our first story had its ballooning 3 times around the world. Pella Amateur Radio Club APRS balloon spans the globe 3 times. KNIA KRLS reports the club's 144.39 MHz APRS balloon project, callsign WB0URW-8, has completed 3 trips around the Earth and is still flying. The balloon was launched on November 5th in collaboration with students at Jefferson Intermediate School. Worldwide Special Interest Groups Digital. WSJT-X version 2.4.0 has introduced a new digital protocol called Q65, designed for minimal two-way QSOs over especially difficult propagation paths. Q65 will enable stations with a modest Yagi and 100 watts or more to work one another on 6 metres at distances up to 1,600 kilometres at most times, even in dead band conditions. Worldwide Special Interest Groups Final Frontier. How's this for ingenuity? The first helicopter designed to fly on another planet is now just weeks away from Mars. NASA's Mars helicopter, called Ingenuity, is hitching a ride to the Red Planet on the agency's Mars 2020 Perseverance rover, which lifted off on July 30th last year, and the 6-month route to Mars has a scheduled landing on Mars on February 18th, 2021. The rotorcraft will attempt the first ever flight through another planet's atmosphere. The Dianetics of a movie star. Continuing to be a Hollywood superstar seems wasn't enough for Tom Cruise. The actor is gearing up to leave an especially unique mark on the filmmaking industry. Earlier this year, you'll recall we announced that Tom Cruise teamed up with SpaceX and NASA for a movie that will actually be shot in outer space. However, TC and his collaborators will need to hurry if they want to be the first to deliver such a project to the public, as apparently Russia is getting in on this space race. Russia's Channel 1 TV is partnering with space agency Roscosmos to find an actress to lead a movie, tentatively titled Challenge, that will shoot in outer space. The plan is for Challenge to begin rolling cameras at the International Space Station in October this year. What's interesting is that with Tom Cruise and his filmmaking team also heading to the ISS in October, it would seem unless one of these production blinks, they'll have to contend with filming their separate stories in the same space, pun intended, at the same time. Worldwide Special Interest Groups Rescue Radio. IARU Region 1 reports on that 6.4 magnitude earthquake in Croatia on December 29 that caused severe damage about 50 kilometres from the capital, Zagreb. The neighbouring country, Slovenia, shut down their nuclear power plants as a precaution. The earthquake reached a magnitude of 6.4. All services engaged in the earthquake-affected areas are reported to be organised and have their own communications, but the National Society, HRS, is asking members to be close to their radios with a net formed on 3.675 MHz, as well as DMR and repeaters in case any assistance is needed. Worldwide Special Interest Groups, VHF and above, the plumber's delight. Colin Butler, writing in the ICQ podcast, tells of a pretty remarkable 3,200 kilometre opening on 144 MHz here in VK. With the summer sporadic E season now in full swing down under, many have been making contacts on the VHF bands. During one such opening, there was one very unusual, though be it whisper, report on 144 MHz, which spanned VK6 to VK2 right across our continent. The normal maximum distance for one-hop sporadic E is usually in the region of 2,300 kilometres. It's thought that on this occasion, 2 sporadic E hops may have been responsible. While this is pretty common on, say, the 50 MHz 6 metre band, it's very unusual for it to happen at 144 MHz. For VK1WIA National News, I'm Col, VK3GTV.
From Australia, this is the Wireless Institute of Australia with the weekly news service. Available on RF and on demand 24/7 from the WIA.org.au website.
Hello, I'm Jeff Emery, VK4ZPP, and I've been thinking. I've noted a trend in newly minted hams, and some that are a bit crusty, to rush to the groups that they have joined and ask questions or make criticisms of things they missed learning during their study. Some of the traditions of this pursuit are encompassed in the slightly strange expression of lifelong learning. Having a copy of the Bible, either the RSGB or ARRL handbook, was almost as important as having the ticket itself. This gave amateurs access to a high standard of knowledge in answering technical questions in the days before a wiki was thought to be better than a book. Being able to nut out problems and find answers were ways of making knowledge stick in the memory, and at times you could prove a book to be wrong. Before, a lot of learning was via internet sources, when radio clubs were running training classes and individual amateurs took newcomers under their wing. It was time to talk about the history of radio and how the amateur radio traditions came about. People could be encouraged to ask questions, and in return they would get a respectful answer. Recently I've noticed group administrators putting posts up for people to display courtesy in their replies. It may be that some people only find their sense of adequacy in trying to belittle others, but these keyboard warriors are just alienating others from enjoying this small part of the hobby. Let us try and be the best mentor to our fellow radio hobbyists that we can, and in turn they will repay our efforts by helping others. I'm Jeff Emery, and that's what I think. Go on, give it a go.
From across Australia, you are tuned to the WIA National News Service. Here from VK5, it is transmitted on VK5RLZ repeater on 439.975 MHz at 0900 Sunday morning. I am Alan, VK5, Mike Alpha Kilo.
This is VK1WIA. All points of contacts from today's news stories are to be found in print when you read the web editions www.wia.org.au.
2021 social scene. Drawing near is the TARC Australia Day Long Week Family Radio Camp, Thursday afternoon the 21st to Tuesday afternoon the 26th of January at Girl Guides Association of Queensland's campsite and training centre, Bluewater. A WISN event at the Ipswich and District Radio Clubhouse. That's happening very shortly, in fact, February 13. Now, operators will set up and demonstrate portable and base stations with portable masts, antennas and much, much more. Feb 13, between 1000 and 1400 hours. VK1WIA Field Day, February 28. And who better than to tell us all about it once again this year? Here's our man in Germany, Ed, VK2JI.
The 2021 Wyong Field Day preparations are ramping up, with many traders already booked in. If you are a trader interested in attending, or you are looking to sell goods at the car boot sale, you can obtain all needed information by emailing fieldday, that's one word, fieldday, at ccarc.org.au. Remember to lock the date in your calendars, Sunday the 28th of February. There are also whispers of fox hunts on the Saturday too, both mobile and pedestrian, so keep your eyes and ears peeled. Confirmed presentations so far are Ray Robinson from Tube Radio, Brian Clark talking about op-amps, and of course the annual Weak Signals Group meeting led by Roger Harrison, where all are welcome to attend. Please keep in mind this event is subject to government health advice, which the team are monitoring closely. Updates will be provided as progress continues. For the latest information, please check out the club's website at www.ccarc.org.au. For the Wyong Field Day and the Central Coast Amateur Radio Club, this was Ed, VK2JI.
Thanks, Ed. Now down to VK3, March 28 at 10 a.m. It's the EMDRC Hamfest. Back up to Brisbane, Redfest 2021. Well, not quite Brisbane. Just outside of Brisbane on the north side, Redfest 2021, April 10. Alara Meet Bendigo 2021 in VK3, October 1 to 4. And the Rosebud Radio Fest, 9:30 a.m, November 14. Rosebud, VK3. Now, till next we meet, let's hope the rain doesn't wash Felix away and all our friends up in the far northwest. Be safe, keep your distance, and walk softly. I'm Graham, VK4BB.
From Australia, this has been the Wireless Institute of Australia with the weekly news service. This broadcast is in text, audio and video and is accessed on wia.org.au.